on into the room. Be coachable, teachable, trainable. Post your city and state where you catching this information from on this Watch Me Work Wednesday. Today, tonight, tomorrow, whenever you are catching the replay, we are jumping directly over into how to configure the calendar and the scheduling page of the current emergency branding fix-it kit sequence. Okay, so last week, you guys know, we were able to tap in and we were able to get accomplished setting up the thank you page. Prior to that, we were able to create the dedicated landing page. And so the next sequence that we are covering on today deals with how to configure and set up the scheduling and the calendar page. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is bring onto the screen the checklist that we are working from. This is a part of the branding fix-it kit, the emergency branding fix-it kit. And of course, I have to flip to a different screen to get to the actual sequence for that. But it'll probably be much easier for me to go over here, select docs, and then to scroll down and find that ER branding fix-it kit for you guys to be able to see. There are the social posts that we were doing for it. We also have a marketing strategy that we're doing for it. But specifically, there's the landing page. This is the B-rolls that we were doing for it. I have so much good for you guys. It is actually unreal. But today we're actually discussing this specific checklist for configuring the calendar and the scheduling page. So as always, I encourage you to work from a predetermined framework, from a blueprint. And if you have not already selected that specific snapshot here inside, then you want to be able to do that to be able to access that. But your directions have both a templated format as well as a from scratch format. Okay. And so let's jump right into the actual back area here into the calendar. So as the checklist says, if you're opening up your documents, it's going to tell you to navigate to the calendars. And this is inside of your GHL dashboard, and you're going to go to calendar. So if you're doing that and following your directions, you're going to come in here to your GHL dashboard. You're going to navigate over here to calendars, and you're going to go here to calendar settings. So for expediency, let me jump over in there and make sure that I do have that listed, because I don't believe it's that way. Go to calendars, and then I'm going to say here, calendar settings. All right. And then if you did not already have any type of calendar that you wanted to duplicate, you would go to the next area here to create a new calendar, and you're going to click the plus sign to create the calendar, and then you're going to choose simple or round robin. So let's go directly here into what it says. We're actually working from this particular brand audit call. That is the next step inside of the emergency branding fix-it kit. But if you were going to select the new calendar per your instructions, you would select new calendar, and you would select the personal or the round robin. Now the directions say to click it to open it up here. Let's go back and verify that. Calendar, create calendar, simple or round robin. So let's update that now, because the options have changed to personal or round robin. All right. And so because we are here inside of the personal new calendar, it's going to tell us to name it. As you see, the next set of instructions say on here to actually name it. So we're just going to copy directly out of our checklist, our handy dandy checklist that you guys get included. And I'm going to say demo, because as you know, I've already created this demo. And then if you wanted to add a description here, you could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up on a separate window here, the dashboard, the calendar settings, and I'm just going to open up the other one so that you can see in real time both options that you have. And if you were going to go into redo a calendar that's already set up, here is where you would grab that description information from. Of course, for your specific calendar, you can enter whatever description information. I'm just going to put demo text, so later you can see where that's going to be placed. Select a team member if you have a team. If not, it will auto-populate with your information. And if you want to repeat that same custom URL there, you are available to do so. Okay. So it tells you in that area to briefly put your description in, and we'll move on down into the next areas where it talks about setting the 15 minute duration or the availability times and days. We'll move on into that next, okay? Because again, you want to be able to make this a quick call. This is a free part of whatever your service is. So you want to make it quick. You want to make it precise, exact for whatever the time frame is you are endeavoring. Now, I like to use the actual information from the call in my URLs, not just a generic my calendar. And so what I like to do is go in and let's put that dash, because it doesn't like spaces, and between each one of those so that it will become a valid link. It doesn't like spaces. There are no spaces or there are dashes. Just remember that. And I can add that here inside of the thing where it says the name at duration. I don't have one there. And we'll call this the URL or slug. Suggested use is the name of the call minus any spaces. And I'll clean that up before you guys get a copy of that, okay? All right, moving on down, the duration of the calls, the days. So whatever days you choose for your particular calendar link is what you will select here, and whatever time frames that you are opening up your calendar, minus any prerequisite times that are already listed, okay? So right now, if I were to open up my public calendar and show you, right now, we know I'm never taking calls at 8 a.m. in the morning. I'm always 10 or 11 or beyond. And I can take calls pretty much up to as late as 7 unless they're private calls and we set them per importance, okay? And I'm also typically not available on Mondays. I do Tuesday through Saturday, okay? And then this is the way that I set that up. If you choose to accept payments, you can, but for the purpose of this, we're not accepting. This is a quick 15-minute targeted call to be able to assess whatever your service is allowing them to access for a quick 15-minute, and then you would say confirm. It can be as simple as setting up your call in this format. However, there are advanced settings that would bring you over to what you saw the other one was looking like, okay? And this is where you can add things like your colors, your logos, additional follow-up messages, templates, links, or things like that that you would like for them to receive. But for the purpose of what we're doing today, we have set up a quick, simple, okay, demo 15-minute audit call. Now, from this, you want to click the share calendar because you want to be able to get the permanent scheduling link. And you can just select to copy that so you'll have it saved in your clipboard, okay? So let's go back over to our checklist and let's see if that information happened to be in there in the checklist. We were creating the name, the description, the URL, the slug, the duration, the availability, and then to create the simple form, we can add additional things like the name, email, 1 to 2 questions, and about challenge. So you noticed when we clicked, I'm going to take this out and say advanced settings to create a form alternative. All right, and then I'm going to put in parentheses optional because you already have a form that they just completed, okay, on the page to get your specific service. You may not want them to create an additional form. So that's why I'm saying advanced settings to create a form. This is your alternative optional. We'll clean this text up. Again, we can go through creating a form, what that confirmation page would look like, and then how to integrate the funnel link into your calendar CTA. That's going to be what's more important. So I'm going to grab that from here and I'm going to pull that information from here and bring it up here because that is the next step. These are actual additional settings. Okay. So let's go back up here on how to integrate with the funnel. You can link this calendar to a call to action button on the thank you page or within the workflow sequence, i.e. the follow-up receipt process, okay? Now, I say that because it depends on how you're setting yours up. Currently, we have, when you go out here to the brand fix Martina Britt Yelverton and you're opting in to use this specific form. We're asking you to put in your first name only. So you already have that one open. Just checking to see something real quick. All right, and we're going to use the business line, and let's just use a repeat text. So we're going to get to verify it here. Let's get that to open up here on the side. Hopefully we can use that and not the demo number. Let's see, guys. Which option is that going to send that to for us? And how quickly is it going to get there, being as though we are running multiple things here? Because right now, the way we have this set up is for the thank you page here. Once you complete it, it brings you here. So we don't have the option for you to click a button to actually do your brand audit call from here. The way we currently have this set up is this actual link here is available inside of the workflow that comes directly to you when you complete the form, okay? And so right now, the way that we have that set up is when you go down here to workflows, which we get into a little bit later. I think we get into the workflow. Yeah, next week, because we're doing configuring the calendar now. So yeah, next week we get into the workflow. So next week you'll be able to get a more detailed look at what we're doing here. So right now, the branding Fix-It kit, the way that we have that structure set up is when they complete the form, it actually tags them with Fix-It, and then it sends a note to the system to say that someone has accessed it, who it is that has accessed it, and then it sends them an email. Here inside the email that they send it, inside of this email, we've actually linked here in this link, the branding Fix-It kit. We've linked it again here, the branding Fix-It kit, and we've linked it inside of the body. We've also said that they are available here in this link right here to actually book the free 15-minute audit call. Now, where is this located? This is actually located in our snippets. So if I go into our marketing tab and I go into our snippets and I type in here D1, it's going to bring up the emails that we've titled that way. And I'm going to go in here and I am available to access the edit. And so like I said here, you saw me just copy that particular link. Here is where I would highlight and I would actually add the link here, and I added it again in here, and I will add the link here. So you may be thinking, what link is she talking about? The link that I'm talking about in this particular instance is the link that we just copied from the calendar. All right, because you want them to be able to access the calendar. But again, you don't want to make it so quickly obvious to them to go book the appointment, because you want them to download the emergency branding Fix-It kit first and start with step 1 before they automatically book a call with you and they're not quite yet ready for the actual audit call, either because they haven't done step 1 or because they don't have a brand yet to have you get on the call with them and audit. And it's okay if they go ahead and book it and they get on the call with you, because when you do delineate from them that they don't have whatever the service is that you offered, in this case, it's the brand, they don't have the brand yet, then that 15-minute call is now going to be geared toward how to get them moving in the Fix-It kit, how to get their brand initially set up, and how to move them forward with the next step in their business. So your system is going to vary based on what specifically you're setting up for them. But here is where we went and grabbed this link from our actual call that we set up for our actual calendar and scheduling that we set up. And I'll give you a look-see at what that looks like. See if I can copy it here and go in and drop that into a page for you to see. So the way I have that specific one set up, it is color coded because everything that I'm putting out has just the green hue to it. And for some reason, the logo decided it didn't want to show up on here, but we did set that up inside of that calendar. If you go in and look at the edit availability of it, Says calendar logo is not there, which is crazy because it's right there. So the calendar cover image, it should have been there. Don't know why it's not. Not that big of a deal, but I do know if I wanted to go back in here, I could go and grab it out of here and I could actually add it in there should I want to. There it is. I'll say save. Let's see if I go out here to the link and I say refresh. There's the link. So we have, a sense of the logo there, letting them know that this is a free appointment. And I've set up some parameters to where we know today's date of this recording may be the 24th, and they can book this out as early as the 29th because I have 3 business days based on the time frames that I allow for these 15-minute brand audit calls to be booked. Your times will vary because you may have your calendar set up for 12 to 7 p.m., which is what I have for this call. But as you saw in a previous calendar, the demo that we were utilizing for this one, we have calls set up. What time frames did we put availability on that? 11 to 7. So yours may be different. You may say, I only want to book calls from 5 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Whatever your time frame is available is what will show up when they come to book that brand audit call based on the parameters that you have set up. And again, this is a Calendly similar type calendar. So if you're familiar with that, this will be easy for you. It does connect automatically when you select those options inside of the portal for it to, read and respond based on all of these different attributes that you're using. You can use all of these to make it connect with your Google Calendar. You can say you want to host it on Zoom or any of the other options that you have here to be able to hold that appointment. You're not stuck to how you choose to handle the call. You may say, I just want to host a phone call. You don't have to get on a camera call. It's totally up to you. These are the advanced options that I will go into this checklist here and make available to you as I walk further down through some of the options that you have. But that literally is the most simplistic way that you can set up the configuration for your scheduling or your calendar option that happens after they receive your product. So again, here when you're going down through the system that we have in place for this specific guide for the emergency branding fix-it kit funnel, step 3 here is to do a simplified calendar with a CTA button or link on your thank you page is what it says. But remember, this is actually the follow-up. And you guys don't know that there's a follow-up because that is next week, okay? So just wanted to help you guys see this is a way that you are available to go in and create a very simplistic way to configure your calendar or your scheduling page. Now, I know that was a lot of information covered, but as you can tell, when you actually get this checklist, what you're really paying attention to are the first and the second one, because again, this is advanced setting. You don't have to set these up right now should you choose not to do so. Thank you for your time on today. I hope that you have found this information to be of value. I also hope that you're excited to join us on the next Watch Me Work Wednesday, when we are actually going to be discussing, like the Go High Level link says, is the follow-up sequence. So that is setting up the content and scripting. No, that is not the marketing or strategies. Here we go. That is how to set up the automated follow-up sequences. That is what we will be covering. And yes, that is probably how you're going to look at it, because that is exactly how I felt each and every time I tried to create a workflow until I got with my AI person and till I got my training from Coach Bridget. And now I'm understanding funnels so much more clearly than I used to drive Cortez crazy, telling him that I absolutely despise workflows. Now I get it so much better, and I will try to make it as simplistic as a process as I can for you as well. So again, thank you for your time on today. I really hope that you guys are excited about everything that we're setting up for you all to be able to utilize and understand inside of your own accounts, and that you too will get excited about the way this system can truly work for you, and the way this system can help you to go from a stuck, struggling, or startup brand new entrepreneur, into someone who is thriving in a legacy-driven blueprint to give you back your time and to continue to attract people to you that need what it is that you have to offer.